ladies and gentlemen, I would request all of you to kindly take your seats, please. Kindly move to your seats to enable us to start the inaugural session quickly. Once again, it's sincere request to our friends on the right side to kindly move to their respective seats so that it would enable us to start the inaugural session soon. I would also request the friends from the print and electronic media and the photographers to kindly cooperate with us so that we can start the event right away. Ellarigu namaskara. World Coffee Conference, WCC and Expo arrives for the first time in Asia at Namma Bengaluru. Well, ladies and gentlemen, WCC 2023 will bring together leaders and decision makers of the coffee and allied sector to discuss, debate, and collaborate to build a sustainable coffee industry right from bean to cup. On behalf of Coffee Board of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and International Coffee Organization, I am Shankar Prakash, extending a very, very warm welcome to all of you for the inaugural ceremony of the 5th edition of the World Coffee Conference. A very hearty welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a customary practice in a wonderful country where we all live to offer our prayers and salutations to the remover of all obstacles, Sakala Vighna Nivaraka, God Ganesha. We bow down and take his blessings before the start of any occasion, and today we will be doing so through an invocation dance specially curated for the WCC. Immediately after that, we bring before you a vibrant exposition of various classical art forms originating from different parts of our country. A wonderful medley of styles, music, and richness of Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam, Kathak, and Yakshagana will adorn the stage to create a grand exposition of the rich classical heritage of our culture that dates back into millennia. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you an invocation dance set to music by Shri Praveen D. Rao and choreographed by Guru Mithun Sham of Vaishnavi Natyashala. Please put your hands together for the artists presenting the invocation and the welcome dance.
सुचरित्र
विमल गुणगात्र
उरगवर कटिसूत्र
हरिकरुण पात्र
विभवक्त्र सुचरित्र
विमल गुणगात्र
उरगवर कटिसूत्र
हरिकरुण पात्र
अचल वरदयित सुत
शशिगर्वहरण अनवरत मम विबुध गण विनुत चरण विबुध गण विनुत चरण विबुध गण विनुत चरण
महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि
महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि
महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि
महागणपतिं वसिष्ठवामदेवादिवन्दित महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि
महागणपतिं वसिष्ठवामदेवादिवन्दित
महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि
महादेवसुतं
देवसुतं गुरुगुहनुतं
महादेवसुतं गुरुगुहनुतं मारकोटि प्रकाशं शान्तम्
महादेवसुतं
गुरुगुहनुतं मारकोटि प्रकाशं शान्तम्
महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं
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 महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं
महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं सरिगमप महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं सपमपमग
महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं मूषकवाहनमोदकप्रियं
महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं मूषकवाहनमोदकप्रियं महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि सुमते
सुमते समितिं जय जयते
कलिहं
कलिलं नशविषमम्
खपते
खपते खगणं पूर्वशकम् सुमते समितिं जय जयते सुगते जगतो भरभरम् कलिहं कलिलं नशविषमम् खपते खगणं पूर्वशकम् सुमते समितिं जय जयते सुगते जगतो भरभरम् कलिहं कलिलं नशविषमम् खपते खगणं पूर्वशकम्.
Just as coffee journeys from bean to cup, you have all traveled from the hills of Kenya, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Venezuela, from Brazil, Honduras, Zambia, and Cameroon's farms, with fragrant brews of El Salvador, Nicaragua, Rwanda, and Ecuador, and scents from Tanzania, Vietnam, Nepal, and the Philippines. You bring with you the aroma of Indonesia, Mexico, Nigeria, and Peru, and enticing notes from Ethiopia, Ghana, Papua New Guinea, and Togo, carrying the heritage of coffee from Côte d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, Liberia, and Gabon, and stories from Burundi, Angola, Panama, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, while sharing a brew with Russia, Switzerland, Japan, and the European Union in a language that we all understand. Welcome to the World Coffee Conference 2023 at India.
गणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि
गणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि गणपतिं
वसिष्ठवामदेवादिवन्दितमहागणपतिं
वसिष्ठवामदेवादिवन्दित
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 मनसा
Congratulations to these wonderful artists who have kept the rich cultural heritage of our country. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a film. You can take a look at it. In the meantime, the stage will be set, and then thereafter, the inaugural session will start. Let's have the video, please. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time, and it's indeed my privilege and pleasure to request the dignitaries to kindly come over. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and let's welcome our chief guest, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. We also have with us Shri Joe Cooley, Honorable Minister for Coffee, Papua New Guinea, Shri Massimiliano Fabian, Chair of the International Coffee Council, Shri Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestle India, Shri Sunil D'Souza, CEO and MD, Tata Consumer Products, Shri Challa Srishant, Managing Director, CCL Products India Limited, Shri Shiva Krishnamurthy, Vice President, South Asia Food and Beverage, Hindustan Unilever Limited, Shri N. Sathappan, Chairman and Managing Director of SLN Coffee Private Limited, Mr. Guntur Beggar, Managing Director, SDG, Innovation and Economic Transformation, from FO, Mr. Bob Baker, Ben Belhassan, Director, Markets and Trade Division. From ITC, Mr. Ashish Shah, Director, Division of Country Programs. From also we have with us, and of course, Dr. Vanusia Nogueira, Executive Director, International Coffee Organization, the CEO and Secretary, Coffee Board of India, Dr. KG Jagadisha, and Sri Narendra, Director of Finance, Coffee Board of India. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause and welcome the dignitaries onto the stage, please. I would request the dignitaries to kindly be seated, please. Well, at the outset, I would request the CEO and Secretary, Coffee Board of India, Dr. Jagdish Shah KG, for the opening remarks and welcome address. Please welcome Shri Dr. Jagdish Shah.
Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you. This is the day we were anticipating. It has arrived. It's an historical day in the annals of Indian coffee industry. Never in the history we had such a big event on coffee. Never in the history we had such a big gathering of stakeholders at this scale. The World Coffee Conference has arrived in India, Asia for the first time. The stage is set for a transformative week, which includes 4 days conference, starting from today, an expansive exhibition, business-to-business meetings, an array of exciting competitions, enlightening skill-building workshops, thought-provoking conclaves. The goal is to foster knowledge, collaboration, and networking among coffee professionals across the globe. The event brings together 2,500 plus delegates, 130 plus speakers, 250 plus exhibitors, and 10,000 plus business visitors. This is from more than 80 countries. We are honored and privileged to have with us today illustrious gathering of visionaries, leaders, pioneers, and industry leaders from across the globe. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to our beloved Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, to this historic event. He has been a source of constant support and encouragement for this event. We have the august presence of Honorable Minister of Coffee, Papua New Guinea, Shri Joe Cooley. I would warmly welcome you, sir, to this event. I also warmly welcome the Chair of the International Coffee Council, Shri Massimiliano Fabian, who is here with us. We have the presence of doyens of Indian coffee industry who are also our lead sponsors. I would like to extend my warm welcome to Sri Suresh Narayanan, who is Chairman and Managing Director of Nestle. Shri Sunil D'Souza, CEO and MD, Tata Consumer Products. Shri Chella Srishant, Managing Director, CCL Products. Shri Shivakrishna Murthy, Vice President, Tata Tea and Foods. Thank you. Hindustan Liver Limited. Shri N. Satappan, Chairman and Managing Director of SLN Coffee. We have also the august presence of several international organizations. We have Mr. Guntur Begar, Managing Director, SDG Innovations and Economic Transformation, UNIDO. Welcome you, sir. Mr. Baubekar Ben Belhassan, Director, Markets and Trade Division. We have Mr. Ashish Shah, Director, Division of Country Programs, ITC. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Executive Director, International Coffee Organization, Dr. Vanusia Nogai. He has been a constant support for this event. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to my colleague, Mr. N.N. Narendra, who is there on the dais. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all honorable members of parliament.
Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO of Coffee Board.
A wonderful gesture by the Honorable Minister. Yes.
I would like to extend warm welcome to all the honorable MPs of Parliament who are here, all our distinguished sponsors, all country delegations, speakers, international delegates, board members of Coffee Board, World Coffee Conference Organizing Committee members, and the entire coffee community. Thank you, one and all. And last but not the least, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the media, print, electronic, social media, for your overwhelming encouragement throughout this preparation and also for your overwhelming presence today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jagdisha, for extending a very cordial welcome. You already got a congratulations from the Honorable Minister, which says it all. Thank you, sir, Honorable Minister, for that wonderful gesture. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to one of the important aspects of today's event, the traditional lighting of the lamp. I would request Piyush Goyalji and the dignitaries to kindly come forward and light the lamp to signal the inauguration of the 5th edition of the World Coffee Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. This is a very opportune moment and a very important moment for the growth and development of coffee in our country. Sustainability is one of the key concerns in the coffee industry. There are various challenges that impact sustainability in the coffee sector, such as climate change, increasing cost of production, and volatile prices. In order to address these challenges, exchange of ideas and knowledge regarding circular economy and regenerative agricultural practices is the need of the hour. Hence, the theme of the World Coffee Conference 2023, ladies and gentlemen, is Sustainability through Circular Economy and Regenerative Agriculture, with emphasis on best practices and technologies to promote regenerative agriculture and farmers' well-being and prosperity, while ensuring compliance with the changing regulatory framework and financial durability. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a tremendous amount of support from the media friends. So let's give a round of applause for our entire media fraternity who have been giving excellent coverage in all forms of media. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Shri Piyush Goyal and the dignitaries for the traditional lighting of the lamp. We have with us the chair of the International Coffee Council. I would request Shri Massimiliano Fabian to kindly address all of us. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Shri Massimiliano Fabian.
Thank you. I'm happy to take this applause on behalf of all the International Coffee Organization, which I'm happy to be here to represent. His Excellency Minister Piyush Goyal, His Excellency Minister Joe Cooley, honorable regional and local leaders and authorities, honorable ambassadors, distinguished representatives of the UN agencies and international financing institutions, delegates of the International Coffee Organization, fellow friends of the coffee industry, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored and happy to be here with you all today for the 5th edition of the World Coffee Conference. Let me first express my overwhelming gratitude for the hospitality of the leaders and the people of Bengaluru, for the extraordinary welcome, the magnificent venue, and the impeccable organization of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and its most esteemed coffee board, together with the International Coffee Organization, as we hold the World Coffee Conference for the first time in Asia. I have had the honor to serve as chair, with some surprise, I would say, of the International Coffee Council for the current coffee year. And on behalf of all ICO members, both exporting and producing countries and importing and consuming countries, I am very much looking forward to what we will learn and share in the coming days. I am myself a coffeepreneur, having worked in coffee since 1991, and I am eager also to learn and share knowledge on the circular economy and the coffee sector in the region, as well as on agricultural practices, new technologies, and financial schemes. We will discuss how to make the coffee sector more sustainable, and this word comes often these days, how to help farmers be resilient, earn a living income, and achieve prosperity, and how to protect the environment and fight climate change, pests, and diseases. We will also cover how to overcome constraints that may be imposed on coffee production, trade, transformation, consumption, and disposal by a tighter regulatory framework, among other things. We gather here in Bengaluru also to celebrate a milestone in our shared history and in the world of coffee. And that has not only shaped our daily routines, but also fostered global connections and economic prosperity. It is with immense pleasure and gratitude that I stand before you on the 60th anniversary of the ICO. So, without further ado, and drawing inspiration from the recent constructive and collaborative G20 summit that reached important agreements under the very capable leadership of the government of India, let us enjoy an exceptional World Coffee Conference, CEOs and Global Leaders Forum, and International Coffee Council, where I hope we will tackle issues and agree on joint actions in line with our common vision of serving the best and most sustainable coffee to all the world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your address and expressing happiness for your presence here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I request all of you to kindly sit back for a couple of minutes because we are now going to watch a film on International Coffee Organization's 60th anniversary celebration. Let's have the video, please. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now have quick remarks by the captains of key corporates. First of all, I would request Shri Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director of Nestle, for his message.
Honorable Ministers, dignitaries on the Diet, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, and everyone present here. As an extremely proud Indian, and also as an extremely proud member of one of the world's largest processors of coffee, Nestle, I'm delighted and honored that the World Coffee Conference, for the first time in Asia, has been hosted in Bengaluru. Following upon an extremely successful G20 meeting that was orchestrated by our Prime Minister, this is truly a momentous occasion that we celebrate and revel today in. In 1953, when Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary climbed Everest, they carried a can of Nescafe. When Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins reached the moon in 1969, they carried a can of Nescafe. 1 in 7 cups in the world is of Nescafe. And what's more, I'm delighted that every single cup of Nescafe and its various products that are sold in India are truly made in India with Indian coffee. This is a matter of great honor for us as we celebrate, along with the WCC, we celebrate 60 years of Nescafe in India. It was introduced in 1963. What's even more heartening for me as a professional is the ecosystem that we have developed. 4,900 farmers today across more than 250 villages in Coorg and in Wayanad supply us fully sustainable coffee with the minimal use of fertilizers and with the most advanced agrarian practices. Some of them are here today at the coffee conference to honor us. For this effort, Nestle pays 4 rupees a kilo to every farmer for this effort, because this is truly a sustainability effort. So every time you drink a cup of Nescafe, be reassured that the coffee is sustainable. Today, the coffee culture in this country is truly at a pivotal moment. And there is no better time for us to talk about coffee, coffee moments, coffee technologies, coffee processing, coffee equipment, growing of coffee, and indeed the processing of coffee than today. The World Coffee Conference, for which I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate Dr. Jagdisha, the youthful Secretary and CEO of the Coffee Board, for the outstanding efforts that he has put in. It has truly been a labor of love, and I believe that as a company, we are well and truly excited, not just with the Nescafe and the different products that we sell in this country, but of the future potential of Indian coffee. There will be a time when Indian coffee will be counted amongst the best coffees in the world, and Nestle will be proud to stand by it and to support it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention, and look forward to an outstanding conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. At this juncture, I would request the Executive Director of International Coffee Organization, Dr. Venusia Noguera, for her comments. Ladies and gentlemen, you forgot your duty. Put your hands together.
Hello, dear ministers, This is totally a surprise for me. It was not part of the program. But I would like, first of all, to thank so much India and the Indian government to host us here. It's not a surprise that India now is the 5th economy in the world. Such a huge country. Such a huge reception to all of us. They didn't say no to any of our requests. It was always yes from Narendra, from Hagadisha, and I would like to thank from all my heart all the efforts that you have done to have all of us here today. As many of you already know, I come from Brazil. I come from a coffee producing family in Brazil. Then, coffee, it's in my heart. It's in my blood, as you all know. And for me, it's very good to have here in touch with many of the producers before to start this inaugural ceremony. We had the pleasure to open the exposition area, and we met a lot of producers, we met a lot of women, and we met a lot of younger people there. And as a women representative from this ceremonial, I would like to ask all of you to invite more the women to be together in this sector. I think together we can do a lot. The women always think about their family. And I think together we can do much more, even more for this sector, and not only for the producer side, but also for the consumer side. We are increasing a lot the consumption we can face by our statistics, and also here in India, many of the increasement and the improvements that we can face in the consumer side too. We need the consumers, we need new consumers. I'm not talking here, and I'm not saying here that you need to avoid the tea. No, but there is a time for tea and a time for coffee, for sure, every day. And let's increase this consumption, because I think if we have more demand, we can have more good lives and fair lives for our producers. Please do it together. And I would like to thank again for the opportunity to speak a little bit with you today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Vanusia has highlighted the importance of remaining together. Thank you, madam. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, it's my privilege to request the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, for the inaugural address. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Shri Piyush Goyal ji.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Mr. Joe Cooley, the Honorable Minister for Coffee from Papua New Guinea. And I believe he's the first minister ever to have a dedicated charge for coffee. I don't think there's been a coffee minister anywhere in the world. Mr. Massimiliano Fabian, the chair of the International Coffee Council, Dr. Vanusia Noguera, the executive director of the International Coffee Organization, all the very distinguished representatives of UNIDO, FAO, Afrexim Bank, ILO, all the various industry representatives from Nestle, ITC, SLN Coffee, Hindustan Levers, CCL Products, Tata Consumers, all the various exhibitors and coffee participants I met earlier during my walk through the exhibition. In fact, I was particularly happy to see that my sister, Miss Malvika, has continued the Cafe Coffee Day brand and is growing it to bigger heights. All the various delegates from nearly 80 plus countries who have joined us from around the world, exhibitors, distinguished participants, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all the coffee enthusiasts in this startup capital of India, Bengaluru. In fact, this is the place where tech meets taste. And I think it's very appropriate that we are having this World Coffee Conference in Bengaluru, because we have, in a way, been able to create a perfect blend between flavor and innovation. Congratulations to Coffee Board, congratulations to you, Jagdish, to you, Narendran, and the entire team who has made this very first international conference being held in India, possibly the first in Asia, a grand success. The exhibition truly was world class, and I'm truly very, very happy to see the theme, sustainability through circular economy and regenerative agriculture, a theme that resonates with all of us, a theme that is very, very relevant to today's day and age, something that we are all concerned about. And I'm sure as many of you will walk around Bengaluru, enjoy the various cuisines around MG Road or Malleswaram, or possibly at Basavanagudi, you will also enjoy an authentic cup of coffee in all the corner stores of Bengaluru, be it Hatti coffee I had some delicious Hatti coffee earlier in the day, or the various different brewed and homegrown coffees that define Indianness, Indian coffee, and is something that many of us wake up to every morning. I'd like to congratulate all the participants for some of the wonderful exhibition products, as well as the tasty offerings that you have brought to the fore at this event. And I'm sure that during the course of the next 4 or 5 days, we will come up with new ideas, new friendships, new partnerships, and hopefully expand the coffee business both within India and internationally. The theme that you have taken up resonates very well with our G20 theme. We have just very successfully concluded the Leaders Summit in New Delhi at the Bharat Mandapam. But certainly, the G20 presidency of India continues until 30th of November. So you are holding this international conference within the G20 presidency, encompassing our theme of one earth, one family, one future. And I'm delighted that our coffee family has got together in Bengaluru to work the roadmap, to prepare a roadmap, a sustainable roadmap for the entire world, so that we can save the world, we can save the coffee industry going forward. And I'm sure the discussions that will be held over the next few days of seminars and conferences will come up with newer ideas, so that we can all, while we celebrate the past glory of coffee, embrace the future, a future full of promises, a future full of potential, and collectively come up with ideas, come up with newer ways which can help this industry grow, help this industry prosper, and help this industry serve all of mankind. Friends, the Honorable Prime Minister often focuses on two aspects. One, he says our policy is a fusion of back to basics on the one hand and our march to the future on the other hand. And I think this conference is a very appropriate amalgamation where we are looking at going back to the basics of this industry, but we are also marching towards a more inclusive, a more sustainable, a more circular future for this industry. The Prime Minister also focuses on mission life, that is lifestyle for environment, where he is very clear that the words that really capture sustainability is regeneration, reuse, recycle, and reducing wastage. And until all of us start caring for the environment, show our concern, our responsiveness to the needs of the environment, the future can be very bleak. In fact, Bhagwan Basaveshwara, Indian saint of the 12th century, a philosopher, a social reformer, a statesman, had left behind the thought, and somebody, by the way, who fought for the equality of women. And I see that on this dais here today, we have only one woman, one lady. I think this has to change. And I was delighted when I saw a group of ladies running a collaborative, cooperative venture, which is entirely run and managed by women. And I was sharing with them that India today is a country that stands for equality of women, just as Bhagwan Basaveshwara had stood for. And very recently, just 3 days ago, we have passed a law in India by which 33% or 1/3 of all our elected representatives, be it in the central parliament, the legislative bodies of all the states, the body in the center, our parliament, all will have a minimum of 1/3 representation of women. And taking a cue from what Lord Basaveshwara had said, I think we must consume according to our requirement. And that is something he said in the 12th century AD. In a way, that is the message Prime Minister Modi is taking forward through his mission life, where he says that we all have to consume respecting the environmental needs, respecting our effort to protect the environment. And I think if we all recognize that waste is the biggest problem due to which the environment suffers, we'll be able to truly understand that the world, that Mother Earth has enough for everybody's need. What Mother Earth does not have is enough for everybody's greed. And I think that is the credo that we in our coffee industry need to recognize, that we need to respect, that we need to take forward. In fact, coffee made an aromatic entrance to India only in the 17th century. It was Baba Buddhan who brought coffee to India. Legend says that he brought 7 beans from Yemen, hidden in his beard, and planted them in Chikmagalur in the state of Karnataka. About 70% of India's coffee production today continues to come from the state of Karnataka, where he first introduced coffee. These 7 beans that he brought to India 300 years ago have created a revolution and have forever changed the landscape of India's agriculture in this region, particularly in this Mysore, Chikmagalur and neighboring areas. Friends, coffee is not just a beverage, but a shared passion that connects all of us. It's a unifying force which fosters connections and bridges cultures. After all, we have 90 countries participating in this conference. But when we look at consumption, I suspect every country in the world would be a potential market, a potential consumer of coffee. Different tastes, different types of coffees, and different ways to roast those beans, to brew that coffee have evolved over the years. In fact, during the pandemic, the world embraced Dalgona coffee. And we almost at one point of time had the theory going around that coffee is a nice way to protect yourself from the pandemic, particularly because it was a hot beverage, possibly because it was bitter or bitter-sweet as we drink it in India. But in India, we've had a very similar experience with Feti Hui coffee. What we do is we take coffee powder with a little bit of milk and somebody keeps stirring it for a long time. I mean, I've seen my cooks do that at home, so I'm trying to recall how they make it. We call it Feti Hui coffee. Feti is the process where we are stirring the coffee beans or the coffee powder with a little bit of milk, creating a little bit of froth in that, and then that's the way we in India like to have our coffee more often than not. And I think we've had this coffee for decades. We've had coffee, the filter coffee, which is very prevalent here. I've just had it in one of the stalls where we have 2 vessels. One in which the coffee is kept hot, and then you pour that into the other vessel so that you can have it hot and continue to have small bits from the smaller vessel into the larger vessel and enjoy your coffee. I hope all our distinguished participants from all over the world, both in the audience and on the stage, will certainly enjoy coffee in that style, the filter coffee style, that I've had it ever since I was a young child until I had it a few minutes ago at this exhibition. Friends, whether it's filter coffee or it's frothy cappuccinos, coffee cultures are as diverse as the people of the world. While India continues to be a large producer of coffee and an exporter of almost $1 billion of coffee, I, for one, believe that we have miles to go. We have huge potential. We have a lot of work to do in our country in terms of expanding coffee plantations, expanding the taste of coffee into interiors, into other parts of the country, and also take our Indian coffee to many, many more destinations. And I would urge Coffee Board, Jagdishan, Narendran and the entire team to take it up as a mission and continue our effort to take Indian coffee to newer destinations, take newer tastes, the tastes of different valleys in India, be it the Araku Valley, be it the Chikmagalur Valley, different valleys, different states offering different products for different taste buds, I think need to go to other parts of the world. While the sector has been growing well, I think we have no time to rest on our laurels. We have to look at much larger and more ambitious goals. Today is a moment to celebrate the dedication of our coffee workers, of our passionate entrepreneurs. We have startups in the coffee ecosystem who have all played an important role in nurturing the industry. And here, if I may quote Bhagwan Basiseshwara again, he had said, when you work, feel that there is no one lower than you and there is no one greater than society. And I think it's very appropriate when we are talking of sustainability that we respect that every worker, every stakeholder in the coffee ecosystem has a role to play, deserves an equal respect and equal place. But there is no one who's bigger than society. For each one of us, we have to be concerned about Mother Earth. We have to be concerned about our contribution to society, our contribution to ensuring that we leave behind the world as a better place to live in than the one that we have inherited. And it is incumbent on each one of us as trustees of Mother Earth to take care of our planet, to ensure that our future generations get a better world to live in than the one that we have inherited. And I'm sure we in the coffee industry will live up to these expectations. We will have an unwavering spirit and commitment and contribute to ensuring that we do all our work in a sustainable manner, respecting the circular economy, and right from our agricultural practices till our marketing practices, we will ensure sustainability, regeneration, reduction of waste, and ensure that we do not in any way damage environment, damage the oceans, damage Mother Earth. Friends, the way forward for all of us can be captured in 4 principles. 1, we need to continue to innovate from farm to cup, from farmers until the factory to foreign lands. In every aspect of our industry, we need to continue to innovate. We need to bring technologies to connect our farmers to the consumer. Second, we need to popularize sustainable practices and involve the scientific community to see how our agricultural practices, how our roast or brewing practices, and how our marketing practices can seamlessly protect the environment. Our startups, our industry, our civil society, our consumer organizations will all have to work as equal stakeholders, as partners in this mission. 3, we must collaborate. We must enhance cooperation, collaborations, and work together with research institutes and global bodies so that Indian practices dovetail with international efforts and we all work together to make the coffee business truly a sustainable and environmentally friendly business model. 4, we need to adhere to high quality standards in production, processing, and packaging. As responsible producers, I think it's important that we continue to respect the need for change, the need to remain abreast with the best practices worldwide, to bring innovation and technology in our ecosystem, and also ensure that the entire coffee process from end to end respects sustainability as the core principle of our being. And in my humble opinion, quality and sustainability, what Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi articulates as zero defect and zero effect. We should produce goods and services with zero defect, high quality, internationally acceptable goods and services of very, very high quality, zero defect. But at the same time, our production and marketing practices should have zero effect. We should not damage the environment in any way. And this is a mantra he articulated 9 years ago. And the country today stands behind Prime Minister Modi to ensure that we will be world class in terms of quality, and we will be a globally responsible citizen, ensuring our own role to make sure that we do not hurt the environment, we do not damage the environment. And keeping the principles of zero defect, zero effect, I can assure you, my own understanding is that it's always more affordable. It comes at no additional cost. When we address the challenges of climate change, it does not add to our cost. In fact, it makes our product a much, much better marketable product. It gives us better value for money. And India is a shining example for many other countries to follow, to emulate in our path, in our efforts towards an environmentally conscious society, an environmentally conscious coffee industry. Through our own dedication to shade cultivation, we have been able to deliver exceptional quality of coffee, but also set remarkable precedents for responsible agriculture. Friends, together we can brew not just a great cup of coffee, but a better world. Every sip can be infused with the sense of sustainability, and every bean will continue to tell the story of hope, the story of the future. May your path be immersed in continued success, growth, and an abundance of flavors waiting to be discovered. My best wishes to each one of you who are participating in this very important conference. May God be with you, and I wish this conference of the International Coffee Organization all success and great future for each one of the participants from India and all across the world. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister has called upon the entire fraternity to come together for the betterment of the sector, and at the same time, we need to understand the responsibilities of Mother Earth. I would request Dr. K.G. Jagdisha to kindly present a memento as a token of love and affection to Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for his highly inspiring and motivating inaugural address. Thank you very much, sir. Due to some urgent commitment, the Honorable Minister will be leaving now, but all of you kindly be in your places. In the next 3 to 4 minutes, the inaugural session will continue. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all once again thank the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for his presence and inaugurating the event. I would request all of you to kindly be in your seats, and we should restart the event in the next couple of minutes. We heard the remarks of Shri Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director of Nestle, and it's now time to request the other captains of key corporates to kindly put in their remarks. I would now request Shri Sunil D'Souza, CEO and Managing Director of Tata Consumer Products, for his address.
On behalf of Tata Coffee, I bid all the coffee lovers and fellow connoisseurs a warm welcome to the World Coffee Conference 2023. It's indeed an honor to be standing in front of you among such a distinguished gathering of individuals who share an undeniable passion for coffee. It's also very rare that the creme de la creme of the global coffee industry comes together in such a manner to explore the wondrous world of coffee. The gathering of leaders, innovators, enthusiasts who have come together to explore our dynamic landscape is what makes this conference a pivotal event for our entire industry. A collective dedication to excellence, sustainability, and innovation is what keeps our world continuously percolating, ensuring that coffee remains a source of delight for countless across the globe. At Tata Coffee, we have always been coffee's biggest fans. We believe in the magical powers of coffee to bring people together, spark creativity, and add that little pep and zest to your step. Our journey has been one of continuous exploration, one fueled by dedication to mastering the art of cultivating and roasting the finest beans while forging deep community connections and making sure we protect the richness of the biodiversity that our plantations are renowned for. However, the coffee world, as we know, isn't all sunshine and espresso shots. The contemporary coffee industry is at a crossroads. In an era where the realm of coffee is evolving at unprecedented pace. Consumer tastes and preferences are changing rapidly. Technological advancements are actually making coffee brewing look like a science fiction movie. And to tap it all, Mother Earth is tapping us on our shoulders, asking us to play nice. So adapt we must, and innovate we shall, because it is our ability to adapt and innovate which will prove to be the compass for guiding our success in this new and evolving landscape. I'm incredibly excited to witness the connections that we will brew, the ideas that we will roast, and the innovations that we will sip on during the next 4 transformative days. Together, let's brew up inspiration and whip up a future for coffee in a way that will resonate for generations to come and keep coffee lovers of all ages percolating with delight. Let us collectively embark on a journey to explore novel methods to grow, process, and deliver coffee that just doesn't pick our taste buds, but also takes care of our precious planet and all the people who depend on coffee for their sustenance. Together, I would urge us to form a community that is as sustainable, flavorful, and inclusive as a perfectly roasted coffee bean. Thank you.
Let us all collectively embark on the new mission. Thank you, sir. I now request Shri Challa Srishant, Managing Director of CCL Products India Limited, for his remarks.
Honorable members of the dais, sponsors, delegates, guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the WCC. I would like to briefly speak about the evolution of the global perception of coffee from India. Today, Indian coffee is being recognized as shade-grown coffee, high quality, hand-picked, and now the latest mantra is sustainable. But I want to go back to 1989, when we first exported our coffee to the US. Our container was stopped at customs, sniffer dogs were called, and every box was opened or it was passed through the sniffer dogs. Nobody in the US could believe that India was actually exporting coffee to the US. That was the perception of coffee in 1989 from India. From there to where we are today, we've really come a long way. Thanks to the government policies and focus on export growth, companies like us have been able to import raw materials from various origins and customize products for customers across the world to meet their specific quality requirements, to meet their taste, and also to meet their particular price points. At the ground level today, we are seeing innovation. We are seeing today growers in India innovating and coming up with creative products, like, for example, fermented coffees. We've seen growers come up with really a wide range of fermented coffees which elevate coffee to a different level altogether. Similarly, in CCL, over the years, we've been able to create and commercialize more than 1,000 different blends of coffee, which we are supplying to more than 100 countries across the world. India has achieved the distinction today of being one of the largest manufacturers and exporters of instant coffee today. Thanks to the Gen Zs and millennials, the coffee consumption in India is also growing at a very fast pace. The immediate challenge for us is how to double our green coffee production in India in a sustainable manner that meets the new evolving international standards and requirements. This can be achieved only with the cooperation of growers, industry, and the government as well. Lastly, I would like to conclude by thanking the Government of India, the Government of Karnataka, the Coffee Board of India, and with a special mention of thanks to Dr. Jagdisha for their efforts in bringing and organizing such a prestigious and global event to India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shri Challa Srishant, for your remarks. Now I would request Shri Shiva Krishnamurthy, Vice President, South Asia Food and Beverage, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. I keep reminding you, all of you.
Good evening to... Hello? Can you hear me? Good evening to fellow members of the coffee family. It's indeed a pleasure and privilege to be here representing Hindustan Unilever. Specifically at this conference, I represent Brew Coffee, which has been around in this part of the country since the 1960s and has always been proudly South Indian. Our South Indian heritage is something that we hold very dearly, whether it's sourcing our coffee or indeed the personality of the brand as it comes across to consumers. In fact, it is flaunted as a badge in our new logo that you might see around the conference, that brew stands very proudly for South Indian coffee. And little wonder that it is South India's most loved coffee till date, over 50 years after it's got launched. I think the challenges and opportunities for coffee are quite evident. The opportunities, like most of us have mentioned, are in the area of increasing consumption, creating experiences for which coffee is very, very well placed. In fact, it would not be very far-fetched to call coffee the beverage of the future. And many of my fellow members on the dais mentioned how younger, affluent, millennial consumers prefer coffee, especially out of home. And equally, there's a traditional aspect to it, which many people in India and all over the world hold dear. The challenge is equally clear. It is that of making the beloved cup of coffee resilient. In fact, we need to make it climate resilient, carbon resilient, and income resilient. These three pillars of resilience are self-explanatory, and I'm quite happy to tell you that Unilever has very recently, earlier this month, embarked upon a partnership with IDH and a few other stakeholders in the coffee industry to try and breach new frontiers in the area of making coffee more carbon resilient, more climate resilient, and more income resilient. Towards this, I think the theme of the conference, which is around sustainability and regenerative agriculture, resonates very well with what we are trying to do. I'm sure that all of us together can not only make coffee grow faster, but also make it more resilient and more sustainable. And like many of us have mentioned, I hope that this conference, just like a cup of coffee, helps us make connections and leaves us with a few inspirations and ideas. Looking forward to engaging with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shiva Krishnamurthy, for your quick remarks. And now I would request Shri N. Sathappan, Chairman and Managing Director of SLN Coffee.
Good evening to one and all. I represent SLN Coffee and Levista Instant Coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, coffee experts, and esteemed colleagues from across the globe. It is indeed an honor to witness this global platform live here, marking a milestone in the Indian coffee industry, the World Coffee Conference hosted in the transformative city of Bengaluru. It's a matter of immense pride and a moment of national significance. As we dive into the event, filled with intense discussions, enlightening presentations, and of course, tasting some of the finest cups of coffee, I would like to extend my heartiest gratitude to the organizing committee, Coffee Board of India, the delegates, participants, and every single one present here to make this event possible. We are gathered here today under a unified banner, a banner of our shared passion and pursuit, which is coffee. From planters to buyers, from manufacturers to passionate coffee lovers, this assembly mirrors the diversity and expansive of the coffee ecosystem that we all so dearly cherish and depend upon. In these challenging times, one topic that unites us all, beyond our shared love for coffee, is our commitment to environmental sustainability. It is not just necessary, but absolutely imperative for us to carry out our operations in a manner that is sustainable, ethical, and in harmony with nature. As we navigate through the journey, let us ensure that our love for coffee also manifests in our initiatives towards preserving our beautiful planet and its delicate ecology balance. We at Levista Coffee are striving to offer an excellent coffee through our new and innovative coffee variants. We understand that coffee is not merely a beverage anymore. It's an experience, a lifestyle, a global culture, and a catalyst for conversation and innovation. We believe that this event shall create a global buzz, driving the movement of coffee and catalyzing significant strides in coffee industry innovations. I wish this event a grand success and looking it forward to. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri N. Satapun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all the captains of the key corporates have spoken true to the theme of the World Coffee Conference. We are all aware, Rohan Bopanna is, of course, the brand ambassador of WCC 2023. He has sent in a video message. Let's listen and watch to the message of Shri Rohan Bopanna, brand ambassador of WCC 2023.
Hi everyone, I hope all of you are brewing some great ideas at the 5th World Coffee Conference and Expo. Unfortunately, I could not be here today as I'm representing India at the Asian Games. I congratulate the International Coffee Organization, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Coffee Board of India, and Government of Karnataka for a spectacular show. Indulge in the enchanting shades of Indian coffee. I wish the event a grand success. Have a great time ahead.
Words from a gentleman with true sportsman spirit, a legend of Indian tennis. Thank you, Shri Rohan Bopanna. And now we'll have address by the representatives of different organizations. First of all, from UNIDO, Mr. Gunther Beger, Managing Director, SDG Innovation and Economic Transformation will address us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Gunther.
Thank you very much. It's very windy here, so I have to be careful not to lose my concept. Distinguished Minister Goyal, distinguished Minister Kohli, distinguished Executive Director Nogueira, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, I would like to extend our gratitude to the Government of India and to the International Coffee Organization for having hosted and organized this World Coffee Conference 2023. We as UNIDO, we are honored to be part of this coffee family and of course of this strategic event where representatives of coffee producing countries, private companies, developing partners can interact and address specific topics related to the coffee sector, which is crucial for meeting the SDG goals. Coffee, we heard it today, plays a paramount role in the international trading, creation of jobs, and economic development for around 125 million individuals, and most of them live in our partner countries, with forecasts showing a steady increase of the coffee demand, but nevertheless, this stable growth in the demand is predicting a production gap in 2050, undetermined by critical factors like that require global action. The coffee sector cannot sustainably prosper in long term without addressing challenges as climate, labor shortages, low profitability, soil degradation, and chronic low fields. The global coffee industry has an unprecedented opportunity to make strategic investment to address these gaps and to ensure that the coffee sector is productive for industry, but also profitable for farmers and, we learned it today, sustainable for the world. Ladies and gentlemen, UNIDO is already a partner in responding to these challenges and would like to be more in the future. From 2015, UNIDO had started its journey for promoting the coffee value chain sustainable development with a long-standing partnership both with ICO and diverse public and private stakeholders here represented within the WCC. In our concrete work, we promote skills development, support local industry to address the mismatch in skills systems, and consolidate the knowledge demanded in the labor market. Accordingly, UNIDO led the establishment of a first coffee training center in Ethiopia in close cooperation with private partner and this financial support by the Italian government. We also promote climate smart and regenerative production systems, supporting local stakeholders in adapting circular practices and site-specific solutions to tackle climate change and biodiversity loss. And this is very important, we support the access to finance by establishing a dedicated credit line to coffee impact investors, piloting a partnership model for de-risking investments. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, I'm glad that during this event, UNIDO and the public and private partners will have the occasion to jointly address crucial topics such as circular economy and financing mechanisms for more sustainability and resilience on coffee. We are here to create win-win situations between industrialized and developing countries. Together we can turn our global responsibility in a more global action for benefit for all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Gunther, for your address. FAO, now we have Mr. Baker Ben Belhassan, Director, Markets and Trade Division.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, distinguished Executive Director and Chair of the Council of the International Coffee Organization, Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure for me to address you in this 5th World Coffee Conference on behalf of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. We wish to thank the International Coffee Organization and the Government of India for their invitation and great hospitality. This conference comes at a critical juncture when the world is facing a number of complex challenges. We are witnessing an intensification of the major drivers of food insecurity, including conflicts, climate extremism, and economic shocks, combined with growing inequalities. The COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine have further highlighted the fragility of our agri-food systems. Tackling these challenges and achieving the 2030 Agenda and the SDGs will require maximizing the potential of every sector of our economy, and agriculture is no exception. At the UN Food Systems Summit +2 stock-taking moment that took place in Rome from 24 to 26 July 2023, world leaders reiterated their commitment to engage swiftly towards transforming our agri-food systems and accelerating progress towards the zero hunger goal. The coffee sector can play an important role in this effort. Coffee is not just a popular beverage. It is also a very important commodity for tens of millions of people that are involved in the coffee value chain globally. World coffee production is valued at around $15 billion annually, with smallholder farmers accounting for a large share of the global output, while the total revenues of the coffee industry exceed $200 billion per year. Coffee is also a major traded commodity. The value of world trade in coffee is about $22 billion annually, with most of the exports taking place between developing countries, who account for the bulk of the production, and developed countries where the consumption primarily lies. It comes as no surprise that coffee exports represent an important source of revenues, particularly for many low-income countries that rely on foreign currency to cover their food import bills and to access a variety of goods and services from world markets. For example, coffee exports account for 30% of total merchandise exports for Ethiopia, while they represent 17% of merchandise exports for Burundi and 13% for Honduras and Uganda. At the same time, for importing countries such as the United States, Germany, and Italy, the coffee sector is an important provider of value addition and tax revenues. However, despite the economic importance, the coffee sector faces significant and interconnected challenges. These relate to climate change, the loss of biodiversity, price volatility, and economic shocks, as well as the emergence of regulations and the requirement on due diligence. FAO analysis shows that most of the observed volatility in coffee prices can be attributed to coffee market-specific shocks. Supply shocks, for instance, which constitute 70% of the total shocks, dominate the movement in coffee prices more than any other factors, including precautionary inventory demand for coffee, fluctuation in macroeconomic variables, and energy prices. This means that to reduce price volatility and ensure income stability for coffee growers, especially the poor ones, our attention should be placed on market fundamentals and make every effort to bring about a better balance between the supply and demand. Furthermore, innovative strategies that increase the resilience to excessive price volatility are needed. These include the use of risk management tools tailored for smallholder and growers, and investment in value addition in the exporting developing countries. In this regard also, reducing tariff escalation can further stimulate the transformation of the sector in the origin countries. Excellencies, distinguished participants, one of the most pressing challenges is climate change, especially because coffee can only be grown under narrowly defined agroecological conditions. Frequent droughts, erratic rains, frosts, as well as rising temperatures affect production, reducing income and pressuring rural livelihoods. Climate change also contributes to increased spread of emerging pests and diseases. FAO advocates for the implementation of sustainable production strategies, such as the adoption of climate-smart solutions and research to develop new coffee varieties and coffee genomes that can limit the negative effects of climate change. Coffee farmers, particularly smallholders, need technical and financial support to invest in pest and disease-resistant varieties to boost their resilience. For the coffee sector to leverage its potential, it is important to prioritize and scale up impactful solutions. Market transparency, science and innovation, good governance, and investment in human capital, in institutions, and in digitalizations are key drivers to improve the performance of the coffee industry. At the same time, internationally coordinated promotion campaigns focusing on market segmentation and product innovation in both producing and importing markets can contribute to the efforts to modernize the sector and improve the livelihoods of millions of people globally. The World Coffee Conference offers a unique opportunity to all stakeholders to renew their commitment to the coffee industry. FAO stands ready to work with all partners to transform the coffee sector for the benefit of all actors of the value chain, from growers to consumers. The FAO strategic framework that covers for 10 years from 2022 to 2031 is based on what we call the 4 betters: better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, and constitutes the basis to support the transformation of agri-food systems and accelerates efforts toward the realization of the 2030 agenda. And again, we are sure that the coffee sector can play an important role in this regard. Thank you for your attention and wish you a productive conference, and best wishes for a 60th anniversary for the International Coffee Conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the comprehensive overview from FAO. I would now request Mr. Ashish Shah, the Director, Division of County Programs, ITC, for his remarks.
Honorable Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful good afternoon to all of you and namaste. It is an honor for me to address you today on the occasion of the 5th World Coffee Conference in this beautiful city of Bengaluru on behalf of the International Trade Center, ITC. Since we are at the World Coffee Conference, the WCC, please allow me to use this acronym to share 3 key messages with you today. So first, the W, which stands for what and why. So what is it that brings us together? Clearly, it is our common love and passion for coffee, but also our commitment to the industry's growth and long-term sustainability. And then the why. Why is it so important for us to come together? Ladies and gentlemen, the coffee industry is at a critical juncture. The aftermath of COVID-19 continues to disrupt supply chains, affect input prices, and change patterns of coffee trade. Moreover, the cost of living crisis has also had a direct impact on coffee consumption, coffee prices, and food security. So this is why we are gathered here over the next 4 days to address key challenges faced by the coffee industry. Whether it is declining returns, limited opportunities for growth, diversification, and value addition, insufficient access to technology, limited and low levels of finance and investment, or the lack of incentives for youth to work in the coffee sector, or any other challenge, what better opportunity do we have than a conference like this, where stakeholders of the coffee industry from across the world are gathered to discuss and find durable solutions. This is our shared responsibility. And why are we, the ITC, the International Trade Center, here? As a joint multilateral agency of the United Nations and the World Trade Organization, fully dedicated to the internationalization of MSMEs in developing countries, ITC also supports MSMEs in the coffee sector. And we are here to share our work and experiences at the conference, launch some new initiatives, and promote trade and investment between India and other coffee-growing nations. So now to the C of WCC, which stands for climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this conference is sustainability through circular economy and regenerative agriculture. And it is very timely indeed. Conversations about the future of coffee cannot be complete without discussing how we can make the coffee industry, more sustainable and more resilient to climate change. Green practices and sustainability are no longer optional. They are an obligation. The EU's push to raise the bar through the EU deforestation-free supply chain regulation and the proposed corporate sustainability due diligence directive will challenge regulators and businesses alike to ensure better, more sustainable and ethical business practices leading to improved livelihoods and working conditions. However, such global regulations and standards need to be implemented carefully if we don't want them to negatively impact communities, especially the producing communities. We are pleased to announce that ITC and ICO are partnering with coffee value chain actors together with the EU and the OACPS to establish accompanying measures to support coffee producers in complying with these regulations. Our aim is to create opportunities rather than costs for the coffee producing countries. ITC has also published the 4th edition of its popular Coffee Guide to accompany a sustainable transformation of the coffee sector. The publication gives prime importance to issues like climate change and charts a path towards a more sustainable future for the industry through targeted solutions, including circular economy practices. To move from paper to action, ITC created the Coffee Guide Network, a global community of coffee experts that creates, curates, and disseminates neutral and practical resources on the coffee sector. The network has established a circular economy working group which aims to transform the traditional take, make, waste model into new sustainable business models and practices. We are excited to announce a new collaboration in circular economy tomorrow and invite you to join us on this transformative journey within the coffee sector. And finally, the other C of WCC, which stands for collaboration. No one actor can transform the coffee industry alone. We need collaborative partnerships across the entire value chain, where public and private sector come together to partner with academia, civil society, and development partners to create alliances and sustainable pathways for the coffee industry. ITC's Alliances for Action program, and in particular its ACP Business Friendly program, is a good example of such a collaborative approach, where it has partnered with UNIDO, the World Bank, the ICO, the Robusta Coffee Agency of Africa and Madagascar, and the European Union, together with the OACPS and a host of value chain actors, to enhance the productivity and international competitiveness of coffee producers in developing countries and integrate them into continental and global value chains. I therefore encourage you to use this conference as a great opportunity to foster greater collaboration and innovation in the coffee industry. As the African proverb goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I wish you a successful event and would like to seize the opportunity to thank the organizers, particularly the ICO, for the excellent conference arrangements, as well as the government of Karnataka and the Coffee Board for their warm hospitality. Thank you and dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir, for your views. And we'll now have the video message by Ms. Manuela Tomai, Assistant Director General for Governance, Rights and Dialogue of ILO. Let's have the video message, please.
Greetings from Geneva. I am Manuela Tomei, the Assistant Director General for Governance, Rights and Dialogue at the International Labour Organization. I have the honor of addressing the 5th World Coffee Conference today on behalf of Director General Gilbert Ombo. For those of you who are not familiar with the ILO, we are the only UN tripartite body with representation from governments, employers, and workers from 187 member states. Since 1919, we have set labor standards, the rules of the game for the world of work in the global economy, and developed policies and programs to promote decent work for all. The ILO is pleased to be participating in this year's WCC, which marks ICO's 60th anniversary. This is timely, as earlier this year, the ILO and ICO signed a letter of intent to strengthen collaboration towards the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The collaboration includes several important joint initiatives, including work towards the realization of fundamental principles and rights at work in the coffee sector. The fundamental rights are the right to freedom of association and collective bargaining, the elimination of all forms of forced or compulsory labor, the effective abolition of child labor, the elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation, and the right to a safe and healthy working environment. All these rights are interrelated and mutually supportive. For example, effective occupational safety and health policies and compliance approaches prioritize the elimination of work likely to harm the health, safety, or morals of children, ensuring that children attend school rather than work. This would better prepare them for decent work as adult workers. This is why the fundamental principles and rights at work are also the enabling conditions for achieving social justice, which is the basic mission of the ILO, for sustainable economic growth and for realizing the objectives of the decent work agenda. In the coffee sector, a rights-based approach can help it respond to changing patterns in the world of work, protect workers, and promote sustainable enterprises. In many countries, coffee production has great potential for generating sustained economic growth and decent work. Realizing these objectives requires coordination and collaboration between government, employers, and workers, including through social dialogue. Consumers, global brands, and buyers, as well as development actors, can also contribute to this by supporting responsible business practices and a strong role for women and cooperatives, including with respect to a just transition so that coffee production can be an economically, socially, and environmentally sustainable industry that supports quality jobs and incomes. Targeted interventions are also critical, and this is where the ILO sees significant promise in partnering with ICO and other coffee sector stakeholders in many countries. Partnerships can help us to support better working conditions in the coffee sector, but partnership can also allow the coffee sector to be a strategic entry point for improving working conditions across the economy. The ILO wants to ensure that decent work becomes an essential part of building sustainable food systems by offering practical guidance that builds on our standards and fundamental principles and rights at work. In the recently adopted policy guidelines for the promotion of decent work in the agri-food sector, ILO constituents have, for the first time, turned international labor standards into actionable recommendations at scale for the agri-food sector. These are just some examples of what we hope to take forward in our collaboration with ICO. Finally, I would like to share an example where our partnership is already active. As you know, the agri-food sector remains one of the most hazardous sectors globally in terms of fatalities, injuries, and work-related ill health. Every year, thousands of coffee workers suffer work-related injuries and diseases, which, with effective national OSH policies and adequate workplace OSH management systems, are largely preventable. That is one of the reasons it is so important that ICO made occupational safety and health the theme for the 2023 International Coffee Day. On October the 1st, International Coffee Day, the ILO's Vision Zero Fund will be launching the #CoffeePeople campaign. This global campaign calls upon all coffee stakeholders to take action to promote the fundamental right to a safe and healthy working environment in the coffee supply chain. I invite you all to join the campaign to protect coffee workers' safety and health. The ILO looks forward to a productive partnership with the ICO, and I wish you a very successful and productive conference.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing us the viewpoints of and the concerns of ILO. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we close, I would request the Director of Finance, Coffee Board of India, Shri Narendra, for words of thanks, followed by the presentation of mementos. Shri Narendra.
Good evening, everybody. So as we approach the conclusion of this wonderful inaugural ceremony of the 5th World Coffee Conference, it's my honor to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of International Coffee Organization, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and the Coffee Board of India. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed Chief Guest, Shri Piyush Goyal Sir, Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry and Consumer Affairs, Government of India, for gracing this occasion with his presence and for his insightful and inspiring address. I sincerely believe that his words have set the tone for what promises to be a remarkable conference. My special thanks goes to Joe Cooley, Honorable Minister for Coffee, Papua New Guinea, for joining us and enriching this gathering with your presence. Your participation, sir, underscores the global significance of this conference and the interconnectedness of the coffee industry on a global scale. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to place my special heartfelt gratitude to Sri Massimiliano Fabian, Chair of the International Coffee Council, and the Executive Director, Dr. Vanusia Negero. It is your leadership and insights, sir and madam, which has been guiding us shaping the discussions and the objectives of this conference. Thank you very much for your presence today. I would like to extend I would like to acknowledge and also extend my heartfelt thanks to the lead sponsors of this event. Sir, it is your generous support and commitment to the coffee industry that has made us dream about and executing this conference into this reality. Thank you very much, sir. Starting with, I would like to request our Honorable Secretary to honor Shri Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestle India Limited. Shri Sunil D'Souza, CEO and Managing Director, Tata Consumer Products. Shri Challa Srishant, Managing Director, CCL Products India Limited. Shri Shiva Krishnamurthy, Vice President, Tea and Foods, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Shri N. Satappan, Chairman and Managing Director, SLN Coffee Private Limited. Our special appreciation also goes to the representatives of the UN agencies. It is your presence, sir, which underlines the need to focus on the collaborative efforts required to address the challenges faced by the coffee sector. To start with, Mr. Gunther Beger, Managing Director and of the SDG Innovation and Economic Transformation, and his team representing the UNIDO. Mr. Bobaka Ben Belhassan, Director, Markets and Trade Division, FAO. Mr. Ashish Shah, Director, Division of Country Programs, International Trade Center. Thank you very much, sir. So, our special gratitude also extends to all our distinguished speakers, both from India and abroad, delegates from the member countries of ICO, the Grover delegates, the industry delegates, who have all converged here today to exchange ideas, views, and insights, making a very eventful conference. My special thanks goes to Government of Karnataka, who as the co-hosts have helped us in putting up this 5th World Coffee Conference. We also extend our thanks to the state governments of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Odisha, Nagaland, and other states from the northeastern region for their support and collaboration in hosting this conference. I would also acknowledge the general support from our sponsors, both from the private and the public sectors, various coffee stakeholders associations for their partnership. This reflects the collective commitment to the growth and prosperity of the coffee sector in our country. Thank you very much. A heartfelt thanks also goes to the officials of the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India, also the Secretariat of the International Coffee Organization. It is your dedication and support which has made this conference a very important event to be held in this scale. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank all the important dignitaries, delegates, and attendees who have gathered here today. Your active engagement and enthusiasm has made this conference truly exceptional. Finally, before I close, I acknowledge the tireless efforts of all the members of our organizing committee members consisting of both coffee board officers and as well as the stakeholders who have really strengthened our hands to put up this conference. And I will also extend thanks to our event management partner, Active, whose dedication and passion has brought us to this point. So as we move forward into the conference session, I encourage everyone to actively participate, share your insights and build connections. Once again, thank you all for being part of this momentous occasion, and we all look forward to the exciting discussions and collaborations that lie ahead in the 5th World Coffee Conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for a cordial words of thanks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, kindly note the day is not over. But then to keep you fresh, coffee is arranged. You need to go from the back side here. Behind this, the coffee is arranged. Do come back in the next 20 minutes because we have 3 important keynote addresses by Dr. Vanusiya Nogweria, Professor Gunter Pauli, and Mr. Matthew Barry. So see you all in 20 minutes. Have a great time, enjoy the coffee, and do come back to your respective positions. Thank you very much. Namaskara. All of you, please take care.
Thank you.